Yes, behavioral questions. Those little gems like, tell me about a time you had a conflict with a coworker. Describe a time you made a mistake. What's your greatest weakness? Behavioral questions are like the emotional escape room of the hiring process. They're meant to see how you think, how you react, and whether you're just making stuff up as you go. So if you want to land the job and not just look like you are binging career TikTok, you need to prep with strategy. Here's the thing, when they say, tell me about a time you worked under pressure, they don't actually care about the pressure. They care about how you solve the problem and what you learned. Translation, they want receipts, not theories, not fluff, not I would do XYZ. They want to know what you actually did in the past because past behavior equals a great predictor of future behavior. Enter the mighty STAR method, aka the holy grail of behavioral interview questions. It stands for situation, task, action, result. Simple, right? But here's the mistake that most people make. They turn STAR into a bit of a script, like they're reading a police report. The situation was X, the task was Y, the action was Z, the result was... Stop, breathe, be human. You are telling a story, not giving a weather report. Let's build a STAR answer that actually works. Step 1, pick a good story. Choose something real, recent, and relevant. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It just has to show a challenge in how you handled it. Rule of thumb, if the story makes you sound like the main character in a sitcom or the victim in a true crime doc, maybe don't lead with that one. Step 2, set the scene, right? S&T. Give just enough context to make the story make sense. At my last job, we had a product launch deadline moved up by 2 weeks. I was responsible for coordinating the marketing assets, but half of the team was out sick. You know, we get it, we're with you, you're really setting up that situation. Step number 3, get to the good stuff. Talk about what you did. Not what your team did, not what your manager told you to do, but you accomplished. I reprioritized tasks, looped in freelancers, and communicated daily with leadership to keep expectations aligned. Great, specific, proactive, great energy. Step 4 is to show the win. What happened? What changed? What did you learn? We launched on time, the campaign hit 120% of our email engagement target, and I learned how to lead through chaos and keep a team motivated. Boom, done, easy. You're not just qualified, you're compelling. Let's compare this to what is not a good answer. Yes, one time I had to work with a difficult coworker and it was very frustrating, but I did my part and I tried not to let them get to me, so I was still able to complete the project on time. Cool story, bro, but where's the plot? Where's the problem solving? Where's the growth? This just kind of sounded like venting. Now here's a great, fully put together, complete example. In a group project, one teammate consistently missed deadlines and that held us all back. So instead of escalating right away, I set up a one-on-one, asked them if something was going on, and offered to delegate tasks differently. It turned out that they were just overwhelmed with another client, and we adjusted the workload, set mini deadlines, and actually ended up finishing early. I learned the value of empathy and direct communication, being able to be flexible depending on what tasks lay ahead. That was great. You didn't just complain. You solved a problem and came out wiser. You showed maturity, initiative, flexibility, leadership, and without sounding like a robot or a martyrer. All right, so how do you prep for this without sounding super rehearsed? Here's the game plan. Make a story bank, pick out maybe 4 to 6 solid experiences that highlight different skills, somewhere around there. Problem solving, leadership, dealing with failure, working under pressure, handling conflict, all of these are common themes. And if you want a step-by-step template on how to work on all of these things and prep your stories ahead of time, check out the link in the description where I give you a step-by-step template on how to kill your behavioral questions. All right, the next step is to bullet out your STAR points. You don't need to memorize it word for word. You can if you're really good at sounding natural when you have things memorized, but that takes practice too. So whatever works best for how you roll. Just make sure that you have structure, ideas, and you go in prepared. Next, practice it out loud, not in your head. You can do it in the mirror, but make sure it's out loud with your voice, like you're talking to a real human, because this is going to help you sound confident and super prepared when interview day arrives. The next thing is to make sure that you're concise. Aim for about 1 to 2 minutes max per story. If you're going longer than that, you need to cut. People tend to ramble. So if that's you, be aware of that and make sure that you do even more preparation. All right, you got this. Now check out this video next for even more tips about how to kill the interview.